Peace, love, and prosperity. Your favorite independent podcaster here, Willmatic TV, reminding you that everybody can't go, but everybody is welcome. The E.B.C.G is a non-discriminatory platform. Everything discussed, disseminated, divulged, and dissected are for the sole purposes of entertainment. Enjoy the show.
Willmatic TV.
Today could be today that your career is over. Now what do you do? I said, I better get to work. Rest at the end, not in the middle. And that's something I always live by. I'm not gonna rest, I'm gonna keep on pushing now. There are a lot of answers that I don't have, even questions that I don't have. But I'm just gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep going, and I'll figure these things out as we go, right? And you just continue to build that way. So I try to live by that all the time.
Have a dream, sacrifice for it, and never ever rest in the middle.
When I came into the NBA, I was like, man, these dudes really don't work that hard. One of the things I would do is, when everybody would be at the cafeteria work, eating and doing all sorts of stuff, I just go back to the job. I go back. How can I show you that? No, I have the image.
Greetings and salutations, peace, love, and prosperity to the nation. Willmatic TV is the name. E.B.C.G podcast is the station. Appreciate you all for the pull up. You already know what it is. You could have been anywhere else in or on the World Wide Web, but somehow we have crossed paths again, and for that I would like to say thank you. Thank you all for joining me. Another episode. And quite frankly, I feel like, this is definitely a special, episode this week. I don't want to make it too sentimental, but check this out, right? It's kind of like, I'm looking at the calendar, right? It is 2/4/24, February 4th, 2024. That excerpt that I played, that I introed the episode with, obviously was, words from, the late great Kobe Bryant. They're getting ready to commemorate, Kobe with a statue outside of the, the crypto.com arena. By the way, I'm still trying to get used to even saying that. The crypto.com arena. Whatever the case may be. Yeah, so they're definitely getting ready to honor Kobe with a statue, and obviously, well deserved. I feel like Kobe is definitely a player who, that legacy is definitely one that we definitely should cement in stone. I feel like, man, there's not really that many other players who really kind of carried and, embodied everything that it kind of took to be an NBA athlete and, basically a top caliber athlete. And obviously the resume, 5 championship rings, the work ethic, everything that he was saying in that excerpt, I feel like, just Kobe appreciation, man, which is obviously something that I feel like is endless. I do also feel like the statue is something that realistically, I feel like Mamba should have gotten the statue. Obviously the tragedy that occurred, right? We kind of all are aware of that at this point, that unfortunate tragedy. Wayne Wade got a statue. Kobe is getting a statue. Okay? Let's be clear, fam. And obviously Dwayne Wade, Dade County, obviously everything that he meant in that community, I feel like Kobe, basically meant the same thing in LA, right? And to take it a step further though, and obviously this has kind of been a conversation that's been, kind of happening since his unfortunate, passing. The logo, the NBA logo, fam. I just feel like, what are we waiting for? Are we really gonna just keep the NBA logo the same for? I mean, at some point we have to change the logo, right? I just don't feel like there's enough that can really be done or said to, basically honor what that legacy meant. Also, in addition to, the statue, I took it upon myself to basically create my own tribute, that I created courtesy of NBA 2K24, which is, obviously the latest edition of the NBA 2K series that, they kind of basically made a tribute to Kobe. You got Mamba Moments in there, and I literally went into the, so basically what I did is I created a little basically mix, a short documentary, a short film, if you will, with some of the Mamba Moments, and some of the gameplay, with me basically playing as Kobe, and it's pretty dope. It's actually complete now. I actually finished it like 2 days ago, and I'm really looking forward to putting it out. But I felt like I wanted to put it out on the same day that the statue unveiling is taking place. I just feel like it's only right. You know what I'm saying? 2/8/24. Obviously, those numbers are the numbers, that were worn by, how do you, like, realistically, fam? Let me slow down. Because I'm trying to, if you didn't notice, I'm really trying to, like, brush over this. Because realistically, fam, I'm not going to hold you. The docket is loaded. It's definitely been, I mean, realistically, it's only been like 6 days since my last episode. But I just feel like I said, man, 2024, man, we just been off to a fast start, man. Just a fast pace. It's just been a lot of different things happening. We see a lot of different conversations happening, a lot of different situations, a lot of different. It's just a lot, man. It's a lot to get to. We're going to get to a lot of different things on this episode, new music. But yeah, man, we had to start it off the right way, 2/4/24 at the time of recording. So I'm recording this on a Sunday, which means that the Grammys are taking place in a few hours from now, right? So that's probably a good way that we start this episode off, right? Let's get into some Grammy nominations, and let's see what's going on over here in the world of the Grammys, right? Because I ain't really listen. It's been a while since, what was the last Grammys that I actually tuned in to watch? I feel like I tuned into all of them. You kind of tune in when, you know what I'm saying, somebody that is on, and then you kind of get back to what you was doing. We gotta, I do feel like, yeah, they definitely are gonna acknowledge hip hop this year, though. So, I gotta tune in for that, right? I feel like they've been talking about this, for some time now. There's gonna be a big hip hop 50, celebration at the Grammys. I feel like they've already kind of taped this a while ago, right? I've seen different little, I feel like I've seen even like snippets and different, artists kind of speaking about, the experience that they had at the Grammys and how they were kind of, basically pro hip hop this year, right? They kind of put their Kango on, and the Grammys is on their hip hop 50 this year, fam. And listen, it might be pandering. It is pandering, right? Let's just call a spade here, right? They're definitely pandering, but at the same time, what I'm saying is, I'm here for the pandering if it's hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Air horn for hip hop, right? Because obviously, similar to, we were just speaking about Kobe, and I was basically saying, Kobe appreciation is really endless, right? You can't give Kobe enough flowers, for what he's kind of laid out and the inspiration that he's kind of left behind and the seeds that were planted. The same can be said for hip hop and everything that hip hop is kind of, listen, man, number one genre, when it comes to, what we, what I'm saying, we kind of get things trending. I was getting ready to read off some Grammy nominations. Okay, so what we got going on this year at the Grammys? Record of the year. I'm not even really sure. And obviously, listen, my definitions and like my understanding and interpretation of, the nominations are probably not like I'm not really sure what they mean by record of the year. Who are the actual nominees here? We got Worship, John Batiste. Okay, salute. I'm not really familiar, but listen, man, you nominated for record of the year. You out here doing something right, fam. I would assume Not Strong Enough, Boy Genius, Flowers, Miley Cyrus. Okay, so record of the year, from what I'm seeing here, Billie Eilish. All right, I know who that is. Okay, she probably gonna clean that one up right there, based on what I'm seeing. Okay, you got Victoria Monet on My Mama. Yeah, I definitely heard that ringing off. I'm not really sure if Vampire, Antihero. You got SZA on there. All right, cool. So it's looking sturdy. It's looking like it's gonna be a star-studded, kind of. So we're like, what is the hip hop thing a separate event? I don't think they're gonna have that on the same night that Billie Eilish wins record of the year, right? Like, how are they gonna be able to kind of conjoin the two things? Is what I'm saying, right? And based on, well, let's get to the rap shit though, since we celebrating hip hop, right? Let me just get and scroll past producer of the year, non-classical. Okay, hold on. Let me just see what's going on here, man. Hip hop, man. What we got for hip hop though? Is that even a category? Best pop solo performance? Miley Cyrus, Flowers. Okay, Miley Cyrus is getting nominated twice for the same song. That's interesting. I might need to add Flowers to the playlist, man. She's cleaning up. Paint the Town Red, Doja Cat. That might win. That definitely was going off. I might have played that once or twice myself. Best pop vocal album. I feel like the laptop is gonna be clicking a lot. Hold on, I'm trying to get to the rap shit though, and it's just like it's so many nominations. Best rock album. They still have rock albums in 2024. Who dropped a rock album in 2023, fam? Cause this is 2023. Best R&B album. Okay, who we got for best R&B? Girls Night Out, Babyface. I wasn't even aware that Babyface was still releasing music, let alone dropping albums. Salute to Babyface, okay, for getting nominated in 2024. Coco Jones, What I Didn't Tell You, Deluxe, Emily King, Special Occasion, Victoria Monet, Jaguar 2, and Summer Walker, Claire 2, Soft Life EP. I didn't hear any of those projects, but I am aware of who Summer Walker is, and I am aware of who Victoria Monet is. Coco Jones, I've heard about Coco Jones as well. So they acknowledge R&B at the Grammys, right? That's probably not going to be... Okay, here we go. Best rap performance. All right, let me see what we got here for best rap performance. The Hillbillies, Baby Keem featuring Kendrick Lamar is crazy, fam. Air horn for Kendrick Lamar and Baby Keem for getting nominated for one of Kendrick's worst performances, fam. Like, we gotta acknowledge the fact that this guy just can't miss at this point, fam. The Hillbillies was like mids for like Kendrick standards, right? It was cool though. I see why, if they actually win, that would be crazy. We got Love Letter, Black Thought, which I didn't even hear this. Black Thought, Love Letter. I feel like I need to, I probably gotta hear that. I might need to turn that up right after this episode. Black Thought is like, he's like a quiet assassin. Like, he'll drop a classic album and just like disappear, and it'll just be quiet, right? But when you finally come around to it, you're gonna have a couple bars to dissect when you get to that. Rich Flex, Drake, 21 Savage. Okay. Scientists and Engineers, Killer Mike featuring Andre 3000. Now the Killer Mike album was, kind of revered and, put up and held in high regard when it came out. I do remember kind of all of the talk. Personally, I feel like I did listen to the album, but it didn't feel like, I don't know, man. I'm not really sure what the disconnect is with Killer Mike for me. I just feel like it might be a New York bias thing if I'm just keeping it all the way at Thou Wow. Like, I don't know, Killer Mike kind of just, I don't know, he kind of is just that, he has that raw kind of southern twang, rap and shit. And it's just kind of like, all right, fam, like, I hear the bars and shit. I just don't like how it sounds sometimes. Like, the delivery is just not really there for me. If I could just say there's one thing I'm not really But Killer Mike, I like some of his older records. He has older songs that I feel like, you know what I'm saying? I definitely enjoy his the way he's rapping. It's just, I don't know, man. This Scientists and Engineers, this whole album to me was kind of just like, there was nothing on it that was really that memorable, if I'm just being honest. The production was amazing. But I mean, when you get the Alchemist, that's kind of like, that's low key like a cheat code, right? You put the cheat code in GTA, fam. That's chaos mode. And then Coyle Ray with Players. Coyle Ray, you know what I'm saying? She out here cooking up. I think I'm off the Grammys at this point. Let's keep this thing rolling. Let's get into the episode because we're already 20 minutes in. You know what I'm saying? Realistically, as you can clearly see, 54 episodes in, I have still not completely figured out. I still don't know how to do a podcast, low key, right? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm him, right? And obviously, when the microphone is on, it's time to perform, right? I'm pretty much just not gonna miss when I get in front of the microphone. And you know, realistically, fam, 20 minutes in, this is like, I ain't even really like, you know what I'm saying? That might be your whole episode for some of you other podcasters out there, fam. And I ain't really trying to throw no darts so early in the episode. Because realistically, fam, I might have a couple darts in my backpack on this episode. You feel me? I don't know, man. I just been in the observation mode. And that's all I'm going to say, fam. I've been in observation mode. I've been feeling really, really good. I've been drinking my water. I've been stretching. Listen, fam. I don't feel like I just been in observation mode, fam. And I've been watching and I've been listening, fam. Shout out to all you podcasters out there on the come up. I know it's hard out here, fam. Trust me. I know this, right? Cause you might have the fire, but you might have the fire pack, fam. But at the end of the day, fam, you still gotta get out on the block. You still gotta go, you know what I'm saying? You still gotta develop a consumer base, right? You gotta go find customers now. You have the product, but now you gotta go find the customers. You gotta convince them that you got the best product out here, because it's a lot of quantity, right? It's a lot of podcasts is what I'm saying, right? And obviously right now, I feel like we're seeing like a kind of big boom effect, right? When it comes to just like audio and, you know, broadcasting. A lot of people out here, you know, pretty much picking up the microphone and trying to make something happen, right? The camera, you know, so many different ways to get to this. But what I'm saying is this, fam. Quality over quantity. Let's be really, really clear, right? We not trying to just be out here to be out here, fam. And realistically, fam, if you know what I'm saying, if you know you got that heat, let's get into the episode. Because realistically, I don't want to get ahead of myself like Nicki Minaj did and all that, fam. And I don't want to jump ahead. I don't want to jump the gun, fam. And I don't want to empty the clip on y'all so early. It's so early. We have so much to talk about. It's so much to get to. I mean, listen, man. Hold on, man. What we got? Let me see. How do I even start? When you have excess of 15 topics, fam, I might have to really like, low key, I'm thinking about like, fam, because this is definitely about to be my longest running episode. I already could see that, right? I've said this before and I've lied. Like I've missed, you know what I'm saying? I'm not always accurate, right? With my projections, right? And my forecasting. It's early in the episode. Like I said, I'm trying to build up the anticipation is what I'm doing right now. Because a lot of y'all podcasters, let me get back to a lot of y'all podcasters though. I'm not all for that subject. Realistically, I ain't even have that on the docket. Hold on, fam, because I'm low-key losing my pod voice. Hold on, fam. Let me wet my palate. Pause. Don't worry, we know how to edit. Because some of you podcasters don't. We not going to do that the whole episode. I promise we not going to just throw shots at you the whole episode, fam. But be careful with me. I got that from Cardi B, fam. Obviously, we have the All-Star Weekend to look forward to. You know, we got the Grammys. It's a lot of, you know, different events that take place in February. I feel like February is, you know what I'm saying, kind of like one of you know, I mean, obviously, outside of, you know, the holidays, the November, Decembers, you know what I'm saying? I feel like February is kind of like a festive month, low-key. Valentine's Day. There's a lot they kind of throw into February, low-key. And realistically, fam, I have a theory about that, right? Y'all know February is also Black History Month, right? And realistically, fam, 25 minutes into the episode, I should at least acknowledge the fact that this is also Black History Month. Yeah, absolutely. Langston Hughes, absolutely Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, Benjamin Banneker. Y'all ain't know I knew about Benjamin Banneker, huh? We also want to acknowledge, all of the pioneers and, the great black men and women who, obviously paved the way. I wasn't the first person to do a podcast. I'm not the first person to sit in front of a microphone. There were many, many others before me who set up a platform and paved the way for me to kind of come behind them and, kind of remix and recreate what they've done, right? NBA 3-point contest remix. Steph Curry reportedly set to face off against Sabrina, and I don't know how to pronounce your last name, but you are a WNBA All-Star, and you are going to be the first WNBA player to face off against an NBA player in the 3-point shootout. I mean, listen, man, that's dope. I feel like that's definitely, obviously, the NBA is probably looking for different ways to kind of spice up the All-Star game. And I feel like I mentioned this in my last episode. I feel like I do this every episode, though. I kind of do that. I kind of get ahead of things. You know what I'm saying? I get ahead of myself sometimes, too. I need to slow down. But realistically, I definitely was talking about how, I feel like, yeah, man, All-Star Weekend, man, we kind of did need a little remix. We did need to spice this thing up. There's definitely a lot of different things that need to change, and there's so many different ways that they could kind of basically just make this a more exciting game. And I feel like this is one of the ways, I mean, listen, you get the best shooter in the WNBA. You match him up against the best shooter in the NBA. Now we have an intergender 3-point shootout, at All-Star Weekend. We definitely also have, the Super Bowl, which is set to take place. Yeah, Kansas City Chiefs set to face off against the San Francisco 49ers, and I don't really know much about either of the teams. I do know this. Colin Kaepernick is somewhere right now pulling his goddamn afro out, fam. Colin Kaepernick, who, listen, man, come on. At the end of the day, listen, hold on. Let me slow down, right? And this is a hard segue because realistically, what I'm doing right now is I'm building on a topic, right? Let me teach y'all podcasters something. Throughout the episode, I'm gonna drop a couple of gems, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give y'all a couple pointers and a couple of tips on this episode right here, fam. And I'm talking specifically to you new podcasters, right? You might be one episode in, fam. Let me go ahead and give you a couple of pointers, right? Because I'm on my 54th episode, fam. And by the way, Google Podcast, Spotify, Apple. You could just get and Google the E.B.C.G podcast. Right? I'm on all DSPs, right? Because there's nothing more important. And this is another gem for you new up and coming podcasters, right? When you are trying to create something new, I feel like the most important thing for you to do is introduce yourself to as many people who you basically want to know about your product. I feel like you should never make the mistake of limiting your audience, right? It's kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't know. If you make your podcast platform exclusive to one platform, it's going to be a lot harder for people to kind of know what's going on unless you're only in it for a couple of dollars. Now, if you just in this shit for a couple of dollars, then maybe these gems ain't really for you, fam. You know what I'm saying? You could go ahead and just keep it moving. These gems, you could just walk. Somebody else gonna find these right here, fam. Because I'm dropping gems this episode. Let's be very, very clear. And don't let my tone and my delivery fool you. I'm definitely in a very, very swell mood right now. I'm in a swell mood. I'm in a great mood. Like I said, I'm feeling really festive. It's a lot to look forward to. 2424. You know what I'm saying? Need I say any more? Episode 54, E.B.C.G podcast. We're talking about the Super Bowl. And yeah, Colin Kaepernick, man. I feel like obviously we kind of see, we seen how that whole, the whole Colin Kaepernick saga played out, fam, and the whole taking the knee, and a lot of people was with him, myself included. I was 100% in support of what Colin Kaepernick was doing. I felt like it was unprecedented. I felt like it was necessary. I felt like we needed somebody to kind of basically take that stance and do it on a broad platform. But at the same time, Colin Kaepernick, you took a firm political stance against the entire NFL organization. And listen, like I said, valid points were made. You can agree, you can disagree. The whole controversy around the national anthem. And look, there was a case, there was a settlement, and at that point, obviously that's probably gonna change the tone of some of the points that you're trying to make about the NFL. Once you accept the settlement, and I've already made this point. Listen, I've done several videos about this in the past, and like I said, I definitely was pro Kaepernick, and I was in support of what he was trying to do. With that being said, fast forward. Obviously, I'm only saying all of this because I'm looking at the fact that the San Francisco 49ers, which is the team that, he was playing for at the time. He was the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, who are currently in the Super Bowl. Colin Kaepernick, not too long ago, wrote a letter or wrote a statement, and he basically, no, it was a letter. He actually wrote a letter to several teams, and I don't want to misspeak on what he actually did here, right? I know he wrote a letter to one team. At least one NFL team received a handwritten letter from Colin Kaepernick stating that he was willing to return back to the very organization that he basically said was, unfair and, kind of basically just not a good working environment, right? You reach a settlement, but then later on you wanted to play again, and it's kind of just like, fam. Colin Kaepernick is tearing his goddamn afro out somewhere right now, knowing the fact that he could be in the Super Bowl right now, fam. You could have been in the Super Bowl right now, fam. Did he really want to be this political figure? I guess we'll never know, right? I'm pretty sure. Did he write a book? Is there a Colin Kaepernick book? I definitely want to read that book. And like I said, man, I just feel like, yeah, that whole situation, I'm pretty sure he would, have liked things to play out differently, right? With that being said, the Super Bowl, can't necessarily say I'm looking forward to this. I'm not really a football guy, it's not really my thing, man. Just listen, man, the pads, the helmet, it's just never really been my thing. I kind of just appreciate what they do from afar, and I salute it. I definitely will have a parlay. So from that standpoint, I will be paying attention to some degree, right? I will be tuned in. Let's be clear, right? So yeah, that's set in stone. February 11th, we got the Super Bowl. That's definitely something to look forward to. Yeah, that's also an interesting something to mention here. So the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I don't know much about the Kansas City Chiefs. I just told you that I don't watch football. I don't watch it. I don't follow it. I don't support a team. I don't get the jersey. I don't get mad and come to work mad. People really allow this shit to affect their morale and shit. People really get upset about their football teams, man. This is really, you would think some of these motherfuckers is the GM. The way they coming in with faces red, and you would really see people fight over this shit, right? You got Travis Kelce over there, and listen, man, America's sweetheart, Taylor Swift. If I didn't know anything about the NFL, if I didn't know anything about the Kansas City Chiefs, I know one thing for certain. Taylor Swift will 100% be at the game. The camera will be panned to her several times throughout the night. She will be. It might as well be a Taylor Swift performance at this point, fam. Every time she's at the game, like it's a whole soap opera, and it's like a whole goddamn. It's like a wrestling storyline. This is like damn near like I'm not really sure what I'm watching sometimes when I don't watch it, but what I'm saying is this: they have so many different. What I'm really trying to get to is this: the Taylor Swift effect, right? Because what I'm starting to hear quiet conversations and quiet rumblings that Taylor Swift is basically generating millions of dollars, in addition to what the NFL is already garnering, right? Because this is not like it's not like they're not already a multi-billion-dollar industry. I'm hearing numbers like excess of $330 million that Taylor Swift has generated. I'm not really sure exactly how those numbers are calculated and where they pull those statistics from, right? I'm not sure if we're talking from television ratings. I'm not sure if we're talking from newspaper ads. And the popcorn might be getting sold more. I don't know, man. Listen, I don't know. When Taylor Swift is in the NFL arena, apparently it's box office, right? And that's kind of what the conversation has been, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Is it even a genuine, relationship? Is this just something that they're using? I wouldn't be mad at it, realistically, right? Because from what I understand, and I don't want to get so much into, because listen, man, like I said, I've said this in the past, I do feel like it's just a little weird that we have so many people so invested in just a regular couple, man, at the end of the day, right? I mean, why are we so invested into what, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are doing? But granted, listen, I would play into it too. If we talking about $330 million being generated just off of, Taylor Swift doing this swag surf at halftime and shit in the crowd, fam, everything that she does, I think swag surf went diamond or something crazy, right? Every time she does something, the numbers go up. And it's kind of crazy right now. The Taylor Swift effect is definitely a real thing. Is she bigger than Beyonce? I mean, listen, man, at this current time, according to the internet, she is. If Beyonce drops her album, though, and Taylor Swift drops on the same day, I'm going to play that Beyonce album. That's just me personally, right? We're not talking about talent here when we having that conversation about Taylor Swift and Beyonce, right? I don't think we can argue that either one of these women are obviously they're both talented and have exceptional, do exceptionally well in their fields. But at the same time, man, listen, I don't know, man. I just feel like, then let's have the verses then, fam. At the end of the day, let's set up the verses then. And what better way to get verses kicked back off? Because like I said, man, I just feel like I've been hearing the conversations and I'm not really sure, maybe we just put them on stage and kind of just go hit for hit then, right? And kind of see how this thing, how the pendulum swings, if you will, right? I don't know one Taylor Swift record. I don't know any Taylor Swift songs, fam. I only know one Taylor Swift song, fam. And if you know me, you probably already know what song I'm about to reference because one of the ghosts is on that song. And that song is definitely Bad Blood with Kendrick Lamar. That's my shit right there. They walked on that right there. And I'm pretty sure Kendrick wrote that hook and some of her. I can't do that, though, because I did hear that she actually does write her lyrics, which I ain't going to hold you. That's a major box to check off. If Taylor Swift actually is writing the songs that she's, doing all these, breaking all these records with, then I would absolutely have to, like I said, I want to see her and Beyonce on stage. You feel me? Let's see the verses then, because Beyonce don't write all of her songs. We already know this, right? Obviously, you got the Dream over there. You got the Dream Team. It's a whole goddamn army behind what she got going on. But kudos to everybody, man. Kudos to Taylor Swift. Kudos to Beyonce. I mean, they're both doing well at the end of the day, right? Before I get off of, the Super Bowl and this perfectly laid out storyline of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Where do they meet, fam? Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. She's on tour. You're at practice. Like, how did this actually? Is there actually like I want to know a little bit more about this whole Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift romance, because quite frankly, there's also been some other quiet rumblings, right? And I mean, the NFL, they've been accused of this several times in the past. Like I said, I'm not that much of a fan, but I am in tune with the blogosphere. And I've definitely heard, certain situations where, certain fans may have felt like certain situations might just have been a little too good to be true, if you catch my drift. In other words, is the script in? Taylor Swift, they've been talking about this since the season started, and what are the chances that she just happens to be, generating all this money for the NFL, and then, the team that she's rooting for is in the Super Bowl? I'm just saying, fam, I'm not that invested personally. Quite frankly, I couldn't care any less. Like I said, my parlays will be in, fam. So if the script is in, my parlay gonna be in too, and that's all I'm really focused on, right? I'm looking at Travis Kelce for at least 2 or 3 touchdowns right now, fam. That's just what my gut is telling me. He definitely gonna get a touchdown, right? So I already got a couple hundred for that right there, that I already put to the side. Like, Travis Kelce is about to make me a goddamn millionaire on February the 11th, fam. Let's be clear, fam. So like I said, if the script is in, that's cool. That's cool, because the parlays are in too. That's all I'm saying, fam. But that is something that I wanted to, definitely. I don't know, man. It might be a little good to be true. Let's just see what happens, though, and we'll see how that plays out. I do want to also, since we're talking about football, I do also want to salute and, rest in power to Carl Weathers, who, recently just, passed away. I believe he passed away. Was this yesterday? I believe this was Friday, sometime Friday, over the weekend, nonetheless, legend, icon, legend on the gridiron. Like I said, I'm not a huge football fan, but, I did read a little bit about, obviously him being a linebacker in the NFL. I'm not 100% sure what team he played for, but I do know that he transitioned into acting and obviously, played a huge role in, legendary film Rocky. So once again, I just wanted to say rest in power to Carl Weathers, legend on the football field, legend in Hollywood as well. Yeah, so let's keep it in the world of sports, since we just got finished talking about the NFL, big Super Bowl coming up. Obviously, All-Star Weekend, we spoke about Steph Curry and the WNBA remix 3-point shootout. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing that, how that's going to play out. Steph is coming off of a big 60 piece as well, right? Let's get into some NBA highlights, man, and the happenings in the league right now. What's going on in the league right now? Steph definitely just dropped 60. Big 60 piece for Steph Curry, they just played Atlanta and unfortunately dropped 60, and they still lost in overtime, right? But we still want to salute, because Steph Curry is actually the only other player outside of the late, great Kobe Bryant who dropped, obviously that legendary 60 piece, in his final game against Utah. So Steph is the only other player who dropped 60 over the age of 35, right? Which basically shows you that he still has something left in the tank. He's still got a lot left in the tank, right? You putting up 60, clearly there's still something there, right? Unfortunately, they still lost the game, and it's just kind of like, at this point, fam, we still looking at the same team? Because I kind of just covered my eyes at this point. The train wreck in Golden State it's just gotten too hard to watch. I definitely had a parlay for them the other night, though. I took a gamble, man. I did, man. You just never know when the Splash Brothers might return and shit. Like, in my mind, I'm like, they still are the Splash Brothers, right? Like, they still have to have a little bit in that. It's not a splash left in Clay right now, fam. Klay Thompson legitimately, it's like your my player when you first created or something, fam. Without skill boost, no Gatorade, no nothing, fam. Brown shirt. This is brown shirt Clay right now that we're seeing, fam. I can't even get 18 points out of this guy on any given night. It's kind of pathetic at this point, I must say, right? Steph put up 60 though. You know what I'm saying? Joel Embiid, you know, unfortunately went down, you know, with an injury. And you know what? That leads me into this new NBA policy, right? That's kind of got the league buzzing. And it's a lot of, you know, quite frankly, some controversy. So Embiid goes down with a torn meniscus. He's getting ready to not be eligible for, you know, certain individual awards, right? So for those of you who are not aware, the NBA definitely just recently implemented a new rule, a new policy that states that NBA players who compete for individual awards in a season need to play no less than 65 games in a regular season. In other words, if you're trying to be the, you know what I'm saying, defensive player of the year, fam, if you think you're going to get rest and you're not going to play more than 65 games and you still going to get that award at the end of the year, you are sadly mistaken, fam. We will give that to another player who played more than 65 games, right? And realistically, I'm not really a big fan of rules in general. Let me just say that, right? So I'm by default, I have to just side with the players here, right? When it just comes to rules and regulations, I just feel like being a black man in America, I don't know, man. I'm always just gonna lean towards the sides of, you know what I'm saying, of being lenient when it just comes to policies and shit, right? I don't know. I don't really know how fair or unfair. I can't really necessarily speak to that. I'm not an NBA player. I'm not out there. I'm not, you know, the rigorous schedule doesn't affect me. I'm not on the goddamn road, you know, half the year. And, you know, obviously the ups and downs that comes with that, leaving family behind. And, you know, there's so many different reasons why a player may or may not want to play a game, right? And I understand that. I can see why a player might want to sit out a couple of games or whatever the case may be, especially if you're on a team that's ass. Let's be clear, right? I do feel like, and I feel like I don't want to harp on this, right? It's a new policy, and listen, at this point, you know, what would Mamba do, right? And that's just kind of like basically like my go-to for everything, especially this year, really going forward in life. But realistically, you know what I'm saying, this is Mamba year, right? It's 2-4-2-4 right now, right? Which is crazy, right? We actually are, we don't, I don't even think we can get a day like this again, right? There's only going to be one of these in my lifetime, right? 2-4-2-4 is, they could have did the statue unveiling today for real when you really think about it. But no, 2-8 though is also, I mean, there's so many different variations to, you know, the Mamba code. And there's definitely like, yeah, I don't want to get back to the intro, right, which was Kobe, but man, like I said, I just recently created, you know, this Mamba Tape, you know, which is basically a tribute to Kobe Bryant, and I'm not even gonna hold you, fam. During that editing session, it was just so many different times I looked at the clock, fam, and just like looked up at a screen, and just the amount of times I kept seeing different variations of 24 and 224, 824, and it happened so many times that it was just like I just had to just smile at a certain point, fam. And like I said, the project is complete. It will be out 2824, and I'm looking forward to dropping it. I do feel like I could have done a lot more with it. I actually just watched it last night. And I feel like I'm always going to feel like that, right? You know what I'm saying? But that's the whole beauty of, you know, being a creator, right? You kind of just, you know, pick up where you left off, and, you know, you just get better for the next project, right? But I am looking forward to it. It's definitely probably going to be my most, you know, one of my more, you know, I guess sentimental tributes and shit. It's really, really dope, man. Looking forward to putting it out. Stay tuned for that. This NBA policy though, and I say all that to say this, man. Kobe would have ate this right up, man. And I'm pretty sure that this wouldn't have been something that would have, slowed him down, right? So at this point, I feel like the players should have the same mentality, right? You kind of just got to deal with the new, the new rule, until we figure out a way to make it make more, sense for the players who, like Embiid, who, obviously got injured. This was like a freak injury, torn meniscus. I believe this, took place while he was down on the ground. I seen a clip. I seen a clip of it. I seen the clip of the injury and how it occurred and how it took place, and it didn't look. I'm not even really sure what happened. The player kind of just pulled his arm up. I'm not even sure who it was. Let me pull it up right now. Let me see something here, man, because this was like a freak accident, right? The 66 Grammy Awards premiere ceremony, that's on right now. Yeah, I'm on right now too. So it's kind of like, what you gonna do? I can't really watch the red carpet today, fam. I will be editing. I will be in the editing room, and this will be my longest recorded episode to date. I already can see that. 57 minutes in. Shout out to all the up and coming podcasters. I feel like you know what I'm saying. Yeah, there shouldn't really be any goal or target time frame for a podcast. Realistically, all the podcast is basically what you currently are feeling in the moment, right? And sometimes, sometimes you might be just feeling like a nut, fam. I don't know. Sometimes you don't. I don't know what you feeling, fam. But all I'm saying is this: you got to give me more than 12 minutes, fam. Especially if you're gonna be trying to throw shots low key. Like, I'm not gonna catch that, fam. I got reach, fam. I put my arm up. I'm catching all of those darts. Ain't nothing going over my head, is what I'm saying, fam. And realistically, listen, man. What was I getting ready to pull up just now?
See anyone get hurt. He got on the deck and then watch his left knee right there as Kuminga, and you could see Embiid was in discomfort immediately.
Yeah,
that's so painful. If he's done for the night, the 5 of 18 will be the poorest shooting night he has had all.
What can you do about that? There's nothing you can do, right? So I do feel like, yeah, absolutely. There has to be some leniency implemented as well, right? There has to be some way that we can kind of make this rule make sense for a player in Embiid's position and situation who is clearly an MVP candidate, right? And rightfully so. And is trending to be, repeat and go back to back as the MVP of the league. And I just feel like when a player clearly is, playing on that level and a freak accident happens, yeah, you have to kind of discard them or disregard them from that policy, right? It's just going to be interesting because I feel like how many games away is he? Like 4 games. I feel like he's 4 games away from basically not being, eligible, for any, season awards. And that's not, we don't want to, yeah, that's terrible, man. That's terrible. And I'm sure that, they're going to have to figure out something, right? This man just dropped 70, fam, right? So now Jokic about to get the MVP by default and shit. Because he not, I don't think Jokic has been hurt one time in his career, fam. What else? Did I have anything else for the NBA? Devin Vassell definitely, completely disregarded Wemby on that last play the other night. You know what I'm saying? And that's been a conversation, kind of like, and that brings me back to the whole Trae Young, potential trade, and him pairing up with Wemby. And this is why I feel like I'm just excited to hear that that's even something that is even being thought. Because like I said, it truly is. That play was disgusting to watch, fam. And I didn't see the game. I didn't really watch the game. I definitely had Wemby on my parlay for 4 blocks. He didn't get it for me. It's cool though. And realistically, I get it, fam. It's kind of hard to you don't really know what team you're going to have out there every night, right? I feel like one moment they kind of want to rally behind him as the god, and the next moment they want to act like they don't see a 8 foot tall center slashing through the goddamn lane wide open, fam. Wemby was in that goddamn paint wide open with his arm up. His arm was over the rim. You can't miss him, is what I'm saying, right? You have to purposely act like you don't see him. He took a shot that I don't even think Steph would have took that shot, man. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Trae Young, we need to get a package together in San Antonio. I'm getting ready to get one together my goddamn self, fam. Because like I said, I play 2K. And yes, I am a part of the San Antonio Spurs in my career, fam. And it's kind of more of the same in my career. It's the same thing. You can't even really get, you know what I'm saying, big shots in the right moment. It's me and Wemby on the pick and roll the whole goddamn game, fam. We can't carry the whole team. So, yeah. I got to make some moves in my career. And you know what I'm saying, obviously, I don't know who their GM is. But I know Greg Popovich is the coach, fam. And he got pulled, fam. We gonna have to get a package together. We gotta get Trae Young in a Spurs uniform, fam. He would have made that pass. Right? What else do I have for the NBA? I think that's about it, man. You know, Embiid. We spoke about Luka Doncic and his 73 that he dropped the other day. As a matter of fact, realistically, fam, he might come right behind Embiid and grab that MVP. Am I off the NBA at this point? I feel like I'm off the NBA now. We looking forward to All-Star Weekend, you know. I'm not really sure. Did they announce any of the dunk contest candidates yet? I don't believe so. But I know that there's a couple of people I like to throw in there, right? Off top. Like, I feel like, what's the boy name over there? And y'all know that son over there, man, with the is it the Rockets? Is it the Raptors? I think it is the Rockets, actually. No. The Trailblazers. The Portland Trailblazers definitely it's somebody over there jumping out the goddamn gym. His name is slipping me right now. But if I say Portland, y'all should already know. It's only one dude over there doing this, right? I think they need to throw him in there, right? I would say John Morant, but, he kind of injured right now. So, obviously, that's not going to happen. I'm not really sure, man. I heard that they was, they was thinking about calling Matt McClung back up from the G League, which I do feel like at this point, like, all right, fam. Y'all not going to just keep calling me up for the dunk contest and then sending me back to the G League, fam. Like, put me on the goddamn roster, fam. If I'm capable of bringing some excitement to the league, obviously y'all need me at this point, right? Y'all need me for something, fam. Y'all need some kind of excitement. Y'all could give me a team. There's a team that can use some of this excitement, right? I mean, if they bring him back, that'll be interesting to see if he could kind of come up with something new. I feel like you got a lot of guys outside of the NBA. Listen, if they really trying to spice this thing up, man, you got all type of dunkers out here, man. All type of dunkers out here. And that's really what it comes down to. The dunk contest is how you going to get this thing to get back, get its wings back and kind of take flight again, All puns intended, right? That and the Kobe logo needs to happen. Yeah, absolutely. The NBA logo needs to be Kobe at this point, right? I just feel like, come on, man. Or, I wouldn't even be mad at Jordan. But I just feel like, Jordan, Kobe, I feel like, yeah, Jordan is Jordan, but Kobe is Kobe, man. It's Mamba year, fam. Let's update the goddamn logo, fam. Jerry West, we appreciate you, bruh. Salute. But yeah, we need that logo to be updated, man. And I feel like Mamba is definitely who gets my vote, right? That's how they should do it. There should be a vote for the logo, right? Who would you rather see? I'm pretty sure they put Kobe on that. He's smoking that ballot. Easy money, right? I think I'm off the NBA, but I'm not off of sports, apparently. Because apparently, the Jackie Robinson statue that was recently stolen was found and recovered burning inside of a trash can. This thing was stolen out of a park in Wichita, Kansas, which, ironically enough, the Super Bowl, I believe that, I'm not really sure why somebody would take the Jackie Robinson statue out of a park in Kansas right now. Like, who is in Kansas parks right now? Basically just I don't know, man. I just feel like your team is in the Super Bowl. You probably should have something to kind of be looking forward to, though, right? Are you upset? Are you angry? Oh, they still on that 1930s. Okay, got it. So clearly, obviously, we're acknowledging and we're celebrating Black History this month. But obviously our history is, we have a rich history. We have a very, very lengthy history. And Jackie Robinson is very, very much a part of the history, especially in particular when it comes to the sport of baseball. Now, obviously, the MLB in its inception, let's just say that the ideologies and, the policies and, just the time that, things were in at that time when things started was a completely different time, to say the least, right? Jackie Robinson was a pioneer. He changed everything, right? First black, player to kind of basically become a star in a league that wasn't accepting players who were black, right? They didn't want any black players, right? He was able to kind of come in there and break all of these barriers. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I know the whole history, because I don't, right? I vaguely know it, right? I know the surface points. I'm not an MLB guy. I'm just kind of like a, I don't watch the MLB, but I do watch greatness. And Jackie Robinson was definitely one of our greats. They recovered the statue. It was burnt. They found it in a park in a trash can. I'm not really sure who did this. But my question is simply, how much will it cost to rebuild it? That's all I want to know, right? Okay, all right, cool. So somehow, some way, someone stole this statue out of the park, and they was able to kind of pull this off, right? All right, cool. How much is it going to cost to rebuild and repair it? And then also, how much time is this individual going to get when we catch him? Because we are going to catch this individual, right? Like, I don't want to hear about we found the statue burnt beyond repair. I want to hear that you found the individual responsible for this, fam. And I'm only bringing this up because this is not going to be, I don't want this to be a situation where they try to sweep this under the rug, fam. This was definitely a very, very high value item. This was definitely, I feel like this was a hate crime. I feel like we have to bring this person to justice, fam. We cannot have people out here willing to tear down history that, clearly, I mean, that I'm not even sure how long the statue was there. I'm pretty sure that it was probably there for a long time, right? And I'm not even sure, like there was no fence around this shit, fam. Like, how did they get to the statue, and how were they able to tear this shit down, right? Without being caught, without being on camera, right? I just feel like, I don't know. I have some questions here, right? But yeah, I just want to know, like, how much is it going to cost to rebuild it and when they're going to do it. It better be bigger, better. It better be more reinforcing. We just have to build a better statue at this point, right? I know this much right here. That would never happen to the Kobe statue that they're getting ready to put up outside of that crypto.com arena. I promise you that's not going to happen. If somebody did that to the Kobe statue, fam, listen, you might have a goddamn worldwide manhunt for this individual, fam, let alone if they even can make it off of the goddamn, you know what I'm saying, the arena parking lot and shit. That's not happening to the Kobe statue, right? I don't even think there's anybody that would want to do something like that. I mean, listen, man, we got some crazy people out here, man. You know what I'm saying? Actually, let me not be naive. We do have some crazy individuals amongst us. We have to acknowledge this, fam. It is the wild, wild west out here, right? Got a lot of sick people doing a lot of sick shit. Some of them do it in the light, some of them do it in the dark. But listen, they say what's done in the dark shall come to the light. And for this next individual that we getting ready to talk about, that was certainly the case for one Vince McMahon, who recently has resigned from all duties and responsibilities as more accusations pour in. And you know, is this the end of an era? You know what? Realistically, man, let me. You know what? Let me put the docket down for this because I probably should take a moment to just say, you know, I was a Vince McMahon fan at one point, right? I also used to roll my socks up. Like I did a lot of things in my past. My point is this, fam. My point is this. I'm able to kind of come and say I was wrong, right? When I do something or I say something. So on a previous episode, I definitely spoke about, you know, a Netflix deal that was inked between the WWE and Netflix, right? Who picked up, you know, I'm not sure if it's Monday Night Raw or SmackDown or both of the shows, right? Two of their flagship shows for the brand or whatever the case may be. I say all that to say this. I gave Vince McMahon some credit on that episode, and I kind of basically insinuated that I kind of, you know, I might have said some things out of turn. I say all that to say this, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. If I said anything that I wasn't supposed to say, and if this, you know, ended up, you know, kind of, if anybody was offended, if anybody was hurt, I sincerely do apologize. And in all seriousness, this is the thing, right? I don't know exactly, you know, what's going on as far as the accusations. Like, I don't know the details. I'm not one of those people. But you know what, though? That's going to change in 2024, man. Because realistically, fam, hold up. Let me pull this up real quick, fam. I did see one Joe Rogan thing. And I wanted to click on it, but I didn't. But I'm about to take this time to go ahead and let's learn about what's going on with Vince McMahon in real time together. Because I'm going to be honest with you. Like I said, I was a fan. Many moons ago, there was a time where, I was a fan of, you know, kind of the business and, you know, but what exactly is going on with Vince McMahon? Let me get some context here, and then we'll get back to my surface points and shit.
Which is weird because it's owned by the same people that own WWE now.
Right.
Which is kind of crazy.
They've had a good week.
It's a great week.
Yeah, it's a good week to be in the WWE.
Yo, dude, that Vince McMahon is wild. That boy's out there.
I read this. I couldn't get through the text messages. I started trying to read them, and I was like, I don't want to read. This is like poison.
But the thing is...
So that's where I was at with it, right? I attempted to take a look at what was being, you know, the accusations, right? These text messages, these transcripts. And for me personally, and this is why I'm allowing this Joe Rogan clip to even play on the E.B.C.G. Normally, you're used to hearing one voice and one voice only on the E.B.C.G. platform. And I do want to apologize if some of the viewers are taken back right now that Joe Rogan, a whole white man's voice, is premiering on my podcast, on my platform during Black History Month. But I do need some context. Listen, it's a lot of, you know, stuff that are taking place that I just can't really stomach, quite frankly, right? So sometimes, listen, I need somebody else to tell it for me.
See that dude with his shirt off? He's 80 years old. He's got a chain around his neck. What, are you shocking me with this information? Don't you think it takes a lot to get that guy going?
No, it's you're saying he needed to send all those text
I'm
messages?
not gonna
to get
I'm
around.
off it, man. I think I got enough context here. So basically, Vince McMahon is a sick, demented, twisted individual, right? And realistically, for all the people who have watched wrestling over the years, right? I just feel like, come on, man. You can't play that character, that Vince McMahon character, that... We already know that wrestling is basically, you know, what they kind of do is they take real individuals and real life scenarios to a certain degree. A lot of those characters were, you know, kind of exaggerated versions of who those people actually were, right? And what I'm saying is Vince McMahon and the Vince McMahon character, like, you kind of just assume that there were some skeletons in the closet there, right? And obviously, I'm not naive. We've kind of heard about. I mean, there've been so many accusations, too many. At this point, so many that at this point now, Vince McMahon had to resign from a company that he literally took and, you know, kind of built and created, and we kind of never really thought we'd see this day. Quite frankly. You know, the core wrestling fan in me, right? The little kid with the you know what I mean, the goddamn pillow buddy and shit. I had the Hulk Hogan pillow buddy. I had the, come on, man. I had it all, man. I had all the goddamn belts. So this woman came out, and you know, obviously, there's text messages. There's, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot. So Vince McMahon gonna have to go sit down now. And at this point, I mean, listen. I mean, you kept it going this long. I mean, realistically, fam, it's not like this happened in 1992, right? It would have hit a lot harder if this was like in the heyday still. I feel like this is kind of probably like the perfect time. Like, listen, you sold the company, you know, you still got Triple H in there. It's not like, you know, and realistically, it does beg the question, you know, is this the reason why Stephanie McMahon walked away from the company? I mean, Stephanie McMahon abruptly kind of, you know, resigned from the company a couple of years ago, and that was kind of a head scratcher at the time. It was, you know, it seemed like it just kind of came out of nowhere. Was this, you know, maybe she kind of seen this coming, or she probably, you know, was aware of certain things that she may not have been aware of in the past? I'm not sure. She resigned though, and now Vince resigned, and you know, that's just kind of where it's at, right? I don't really know exactly as far as a trial, and you know, I'm pretty sure that this is gonna be an ongoing situation, right? So we'll just have to stay tuned, you know, and we'll just kind of have to see how this plays out, right? But Vince McMahon at this point, it's kind of like, I just feel like, I mean, why wait to this point to now come out? I feel like, how much longer do we have Vince McMahon, fam? Let me just spit it out, fam. We got Vince McMahon for one more year, fam, is what I'm saying, right? Like, really, have you seen Vince McMahon lately, fam? This man got his beard painted on, and it's just like, fam, like, you waited till this man had 2 years to live left. Now you want to, like, bring this man to justice? To each his own. And prayers and condolences to everybody involved. Just Hilarious officially joins the Breakfast Club. So, yeah, February 5th, which is tomorrow, actually, Monday, is her official first day on the new gig. And, you know, obviously, a lot of people speculated, myself included. Shit, I did more than speculate. I inquired, fam. I hit the DM. I went straight to the DMs. Like, listen, if the Breakfast Club don't see the vision, the E.B.C.G definitely sees the vision. And I definitely, you know what I'm saying? I was definitely I got in recruit mode, and I was trying to make something happen with me and Just Hilarious. I'm not even going to hold you, fam. And I feel like low key, I mean, obviously, contractually, she couldn't really make that move because she already had made a decision, and basically what it seems like took place here is that Just Hilarious and the Breakfast Club, they pulled a Vince McMahon. They pulled a WWE, right? This was damn near like a storyline, the shit that they did, right? Because it wasn't too long ago. It was actually a couple of weeks ago. We see Charlemagne the God, you know, on TMZ, basically kind of speaking about the whole situation. And, you know, at the time, he was basically saying he wasn't really sure what the situation was. And he did a good job, honestly. He really did sell it. Like, he kind of did, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Charlemagne was a wrestling fan at some point, right? Because clearly he definitely knew how to sell the angle, right? And he had me convinced, and we kind of was like, you know, I wasn't really sure. I speculated so many different things, too. I did. I don't even really want to say all of the things I speculated, right? But just knowing that, you know, obviously we just spoke about the Vince McMahon situation. But fast forward, man, apparently a deal has been inked. This was definitely a good storyline. And, you know, Just Hilarious will officially join the Breakfast Club, you know, as the third host. That's I do feel like that's dope. I feel like obviously, you know, they had so many different guests, and you know, I feel like certain people felt like Claudia Jordan was probably a better suited for the role. And you know what, man, listen, man, to each his own. Claudia's talented. I feel like Jess is talented, you know, and I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, anybody who actually got to sit in that seat I mean, you should have benefited and you should have elevated, just from being in that seat. I feel like Claudia Jordan, if she's not the host of the Breakfast Club, I'm sure that there's other ventures out there that, probably got to see her audition for the Breakfast Club. And I'm pretty sure that that's going to work in her favor. So this is one of them things where I feel like everybody wins, right? The Breakfast Club wins, hopefully Envy win his court case and shit. Because we ain't forget about that. It's a lot of trials going on right now. Trials and tribulations, fam. Might be the name of this episode, fam. Let me go ahead and keep that. Hold on, I might have to write that down real quick, fam. Trials. Yeah. I see, I cook them up off the dome, so sometimes in mid-episode is when I come up with the title of the episode, right? So y'all actually see in real time that I actually do create, right? I'm not sitting here just trying to get $1 from somebody. I'm not trying to rally up the troops so that we could all come over here and... No, I'm really a creator. I really do this. I really have experienced trials and tribulations. Everybody Can't Go podcast, Willmatic TV. Once again, I appreciate you all for tuning in. Episode 54. Listen. I feel like at this point, I've stalled enough. And if I'm being honest, listen, man, y'all might know a little bit about me. I haven't really come on here and given y'all the full story, right? But I've definitely told y'all in the past that I'm from Left Rack, right? I started podcasting in Left Rack City. Let's be very, very clear about that. I am a podcast baby. So I say all that to say this. I'm going to have to really pull out my Queens card and throw it on the table for this next one right here. And I'm going to have to really, really be delicate and really, really careful on how I approach this next topic. Because, listen, man, every now and then, sometimes things happen and we just don't really see them coming. We don't. As a podcaster, it is our job to gather... Man, I might have been 2 episodes early when I titled episode 52, What's Beef? Because realistically, fam, we got a lot of beef going on right now in the world of hip hop. And obviously, let's just get to it at this point, right? Because I kind of been beating around the bush. We got Nicki Minaj versus Megan Thee Stallion. This is the thing, right? Nicki Minaj versus Megan Thee Stallion, at the top of the year 2024, we just got a Nicki album. We just got an amazing Nicki album, right? And I feel like, I don't know, man. I just feel like Megan Thee Stallion versus Nicki Minaj. I mean, for me personally, I'm not so much in tune with, basically female beef, right? I'm not so much in tune with any beef for that matter, right? And pause, by the way, pause if applicable, right? What is beef? Nicki Minaj versus Megan Thee Stallion. I'm sitting here basically scratching my head, asking myself a few questions. Number one, didn't they have a song together not too long ago? I feel like it was just 2 summers ago. When Nicki and Meg kind of had what was one of the biggest songs out, right? And they kind of was, I wasn't really sure. Basically what I'm saying is, where did this really stem from? Well, Megan Thee Stallion recently dropped a song titled Hiss, where she basically made a reference to... Well, what they're saying is she made a reference to Nicki Minaj, or Nicki Minaj's husband, Megan Thee Stallion. She put out a song titled Hiss. She had a bar in there about Meg's Law, insinuating that Nicki Minaj's husband was a pedophile, right? And Nicki didn't waste any time, right? She got on the goddamn internet 2 hours later and she didn't get off of it since, basically, right? And that's just kind of what the situation is currently, right? Megan Thee Stallion had a bar, that was, kind of a shot, kind of a sub. Nicki received that bar, and she received that sub. And listen, I'm here for the receiving of the sub, right? If there's one thing that Willmatic TV can relate to, that's receiving the subs. Let's be very, very clear about that, right? So I can understand you kind of seeing something from afar and saying, all right, cool, I saw that, right? Now it's just a matter of how you respond. And, quite frankly, what's kind of going on right now is, I don't really even know what to say, man. I don't, because it's just like I said, she just put out an album. I'm talking about Nicki Minaj. She just recently put out an album, Pink Friday 2. And I feel like we were just giving her flowers, basically, right? For putting out this, kind of amazing project. And not kind of amazing. It was an amazing project, right? Probably one of her most well-rounded kind of, albums. And, we were giving her flowers, and I feel like they were well-deserved. I feel like Nicki was just kind of getting into that place where we were ready to accept her as, like, basically a legend. And, kind of basically we were ready to kind of send her off on her farewell tour, right? The right way and shit, right? Like, let's see Nicki kind of go out on a good foot, right? No puns intended, right? The name of the diss track was Bigfoot, and she definitely had a good foot bar in there, and get up on your good foot, you know what I'm saying? Basically insinuating that Meg, got shot, and then that whole thing. And it's just a whole mess. It's messy. It's just messy, man. And it's kind of just like, I felt like we got away from the messiness with Meg, right? And that's just kind of where I'm at with it, man. I just feel like Megan Thee Stallion, at this point, what exactly, I don't really know what I'm gonna get when I see a Megan Thee Stallion headline. I don't know if I'm gonna get a good song. I don't know if I'm gonna get a good angle, or if I'm just gonna get some mess at this point, right? Like, it's kind of just like, I don't really know which Meg I'm gonna get here, right? Personally, I haven't really heard anything from Megan Thee Stallion on a music tip that kind of, kept me coming back personally, right? I don't really, musically, there's just not really a connection there for me personally. I do understand that, production is everything today. In this day and age, if you have a good producer in the studio, you're going to be able to kind of, come out of the studio with something. And realistically, fam, all I'm saying is this. Clearly, when it comes to, accolades and, a resume in rap and in hip hop, when we're looking at Megan Thee Stallion, when we're looking at Nicki Minaj, obviously Nicki Minaj checks off way more boxes, right? And I'm just speaking for myself, obviously, personally. Everybody's not going to agree, right? I'm sure there's other people who prefer Meg over Nicki, and, vice versa, right? It's perspective. Nicki is clearly the better rapper, though, right? Overall, like, we would have to just get that to Nicki. I'm going to give that to Nicki, fam. And like I said, my Queen's card, I'm going to have to pull my Queen's card out a few times during this segment. And I'm going to throw it on the table. Because, listen, man, I feel like when we look at Nicki in her early inception, right? In her early days in her career, MySpace Nicki, right? Let's just look at how MySpace Nicki operated in the industry, right? That's a male-dominated. She kind of came out and she kind of basically rapped her way into the position she's in. Now, obviously, there's other things that people have insinuated. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother time, right? You got different stories and different theories out there about how certain people got on and whatever the case may be. All I'm saying is this, fam. I remember the MySpace Nicki era, right? And she actually rapped and got in position because she actually knew how to rap, and it was kind of like she had a look. It was a different sound. It was a different energy. Now, Meg, on the other hand, I feel like, yeah, she can deliver some bars here and there, whatever the case may be, but I do feel like she is relying more on the messiness and the controversy as far as, I feel like her career is kind of, controversy, man. That kind of helped, get her to where she is now, right? You fast forward, you drop this song Hiss out of nowhere during Black History Month and shit. You come out with your most, disrespectful record and shit. Like this is like the Uncle Murder wrap up again or something, right? You went to Meg's Law, all right, then cool. So now this is the whole thing now, and this is the whole conversation. So Meg did what she did, all right, cool. What does Nicki do? Well, she does what she does best. She rallies up her barbs, she gets on the internet, she gets everybody excited, fam. And that's a whole other conversation where it's just kind of like, and this is the thing, like personally, I seen firsthand that whole barb effect and just kind of how, the barbs is a real thing, fam. And they literally will come and take over. We seen it on AMP, right? R.I.P. AMP, by the way. Respectfully. We've seen them kind of come on there and take over that platform, right? So what I'm saying is this. We are fully aware of, the influence that she has on her fan base, right? With that being said, let's get to what Nicki does, right? She responds, and I'm not even really sure how many records are out at this point, right? I heard the initial record, and listen, man, I'm not going to say what everybody else is saying, but I will say what everybody else is saying, and what everybody else is saying is that this is trash, right? I'm not saying that. That's what they're saying, and I'm saying what they're saying. And what they're saying is that this Nicki Minaj response was not it, fam. I'm saying that. That shit wasn't it. They saying it's trash. I'm saying that this wasn't it. Because I'm not going to say it was trash just for the simple fact that this clearly wasn't her best effort, right? And, you have to do, you kind of do have to give the benefit of the doubt to certain artists. Like, we just recently seen this with Kendrick Lamar, right? Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest hip-hop artists of all time, right? And when it's all said and done, those albums will be, what I'm saying? They're probably going to have statues of his albums when it's all said and done, fam. And the lyrics and the penmanship and what he's kind of laid out in that catalog, right? With that being said, every now and then you're going to put out a miss, right? That Chanel ad, that song that was on there was terrible, right? And I'm saying this. But at the same time, it's Kendrick Lamar. We going to give you the benefit of the doubt. And we not going to say that, we know that this, individual is talented, right? We know that Nicki is talented. And we know that she's capable of rapping on a high level at a high clip. But at the same time, what we're also saying is that you probably should have not released this record. You know what I'm saying? And from what I understand, there's been a different version of it that has been released that, people are saying that is probably a better version. And I don't, listen, for me personally, this does feel like some kind of industry planted, manufactured beef that kind of just was kind of, listen, man. Nicki Minaj has always kind of been vocal about her position in the industry, and she's always kind of felt like it's been her against the machine, basically, right? And I don't necessarily think that we may never be privy. We may never be 100% privy to what exactly is going on behind the scenes when it comes to, females in hip hop, and basically just like, how do these things even get started, fam? Like, where did this really come from, right? Like I said, Nicki just put out an album, and I feel like you should kind of be on tour right now, and you should be kind of just like basically celebrating a win. You just put out an album, it's doing amazing numbers. you're a legend in rap, you know, I feel like I said, she should be on her victory lap right now, right? So now for her to be in this whole beef with Megan Thee Stallion, I don't know, man. It's just interesting to me that just the timing of this, right? So and obviously we're not really sure, like, basically, is this thing over? Probably not, right? According to Nicki, on the end of the song where she talked for 5 minutes with acapella and shit, basically like how she was doing on her on AMP and shit, like it was like I was on AMP again, fam. It was Nicki unhinged, just on a microphone, just talking, right? Basically, right? And she was saying a lot. She was saying a lot, and she also was basically saying that she had more to say, right? Now, I'm not really sure where we at as far as, listen, it's Grammy weekend, fam, so I'm pretty sure that, you know, it's probably not the best time to be in the studio making diss records and shit. Everybody probably trying to get suited and booted, hit up Rodeo Drive and shit. So yeah, that's just kind of where that's at as far as Nicki and Meg. I don't really, I'm not really sure. Like I said, I'm just a little confused as to where this came from. I feel like more will be revealed, and I'll probably have more to say at that point. But as of right now, like I said, this does feel like some type of manufactured, industry created beef to kind of hurt the momentum that Nicki just garnered from her last release, fam. How many copies? Like 1 million in a week or something crazy? Like, she did some staggering numbers, fam. Why are we not celebrating? I'm keeping my eye on this. Right? I won't be keeping my eye on the Eminem and Benzino beef, though. I just feel like, once again, it's 2024. It's just certain things that we didn't ask for. We didn't ask for this. Eminem versus Benzino in 2024. I didn't even hear either of these tracks, by the way. I only heard a little bit of the snippets that I heard when I was listening to other people's podcasts. They playing this shit. I'm not playing none of these right here. This is gonna go under the rug for me. And I do feel like Eminem, at this point, we have to just acknowledge the fact that every day that goes by, and Eminem is still an active rapper, it is tarnishing his legacy at this point. I do feel like Eminem probably does need to retire now, fam. If all you have to offer hip hop at this point is to go back and forth with Benzino, and you still trying to clown and do all this, fam, check this out, fam. You kind of already beat the system, right? You were not even supposed to get this far with this shit. You actually had some type of skill, and I'm not gonna be one of those people that I can never slander Eminem when it comes to, you know, the craft, right? I'm not gonna sit here and act like I didn't have the Eminem show on repeat, fam. I used to have that. That was one of the CDs. I used to stuff that bitch in that damn CD case with all the rest of them CDs. Stuff that bitch in my damn pocket. You know what I mean? I would tear my pocket. My jacket pocket used to rip. I couldn't even get all them damn CDs in there. I'd pull that damn CD case out on the train. My CDs would fall on the dirty floor. I'd pick that bitch right up, fam, with a smile on my face, because I knew I was getting ready to play this shit from front to back. I feel like Eminem at one point, yeah, he could rap his ass off, but it's just like, fam, like, I don't know, man. We kind of are missing the Eminem classic album outside of the Eminem show, which was amazing, right? I'm not really sure. Yeah. I don't really want to see Eminem and Benzino in 2024. I really don't. It's just kind of like, fam, y'all was beefing when LimeWire was still like how we downloaded and purchased music and shit. You feel me? There is no reason why. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that on the Apple Music. I heard it on LimeWire. It was cool then. But we can't do that on the Apple Music playlist too, fam. Eminem needs to retire or drop a classic album, fam. Seriously. Because realistically, like I said, fam, you had that one song with Kendrick. All I need from you at this point is for you and Kendrick to go back in the studio and recreate a classic song, because you guys definitely missed with Love Game. Maybe a nice boom bap primo produced album, maybe Hit Boy, something like this. Even I take a DJ Drama. A DJ Drama Eminem album might be crazy, fam. Or mixtape for that matter. I mean, yeah, there actually was some more things that took place and occurred. I kind of brushed over. So yeah, apparently, getting back to the Nicki and Meg situation, apparently, you know, we were speaking about basically the barbs and just how, you know, influential Nicki Minaj is amongst her fans and her fan base, and just basically the levels to that, and just how, you know, how far some fans may go. Or so basically what's being reported is that unfortunately, you know, Megan Thee Stallion's mother who passed away, you know, there were some reports of a grave site being found by some fans, and now they have to up security. And I just feel like when we get to that point, fam, it's just kind of like, what exactly are we doing, fam? Like, you got fans that are doing some crazy shit, fam. You might need to, I don't know what's going on, fam, or how this is going to play out. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we're going to stay on music now, though, right? So we talked about Nicki, Meg. You know what I'm saying? We definitely not here for, you know, Eminem versus Benzino in 2024. Do we have to revisit this? Because, all right, so this is the whole thing now, right? Drake versus Yasin Bey Part 2, right? Because we already spoke about this on a previous episode, and obviously, this is, you know, something that kind of got the internet buzzing. It got a few conversations started. I've been watching a lot of podcasts. A lot of you podcasters did a whole episode around this right here, fam. Yasin Bey versus Drake. I don't even really feel like this should even be a conversation, personally. You know, I do understand that sometimes we like to take things and run with it, and, you know, it's easy to take some things out of context. And listen, quite frankly, maybe Mos Def was trying to clown Drake, right? Maybe he actually did feel like that in the moment, and he wanted to clown him or whatever the case may be. But now we fast forward, and apparently they kind of asked him the same question about, you know, Drake and how he felt about Drake as an artist. I feel like this time around, he basically just wanted to make it clear that he respected Drake as an MC, but at the same time, I feel like, now he still kind of doubled down to a certain degree, and he basically said that he wanted a little bit more out of Drake as far as his penmanship is concerned, and, you know, just him being an MC overall, right? I mean, after all, this is the 50th year, right? And I just feel like, you know, we already established that Mos Def is one of the pillars in hip-hop, right? And in hip-hop history, and, you know, we kind of already know what that foundation was and what he laid out and what he contributed to the genre. But now it is kind of coming off like, all right, fam, what you did the Drake fans like apply that much pressure? Like, are you walking this back because you are you trying to duck a potential fade? I personally, knowing what I know about Yasin Bey, Mos Def, and lyrically, I mean, listen, fam, personally, fam, this might be a pump fake, right? If you ask me, I don't think Yasin Bey is losing any sleep over Drake, fam. Lyrically, on any level, really, right? I'm just pretty sure that, you know, if it comes down to it, you know what I'm saying? That's not a boxing match that he's gonna walk away, run away from, right? But then at the same time, all right, I'm hearing things like, all right, so Drake reply with some type of, Drake did say something crazy. He called him like a crackhead or a bohemian, something, a bucket or something like that, which, you know, obviously that's Canadian terminology, fam, and, you know, it's supposed to mean something along the lines of like you're a druggie, or I'm not really sure exactly what Drake is trying to say about Mos Def and why he would even go that route with him, considering the fact that you yourself, Drake, were actually seen in an IG post pouring a bottle of lean or pouring lean into a cup, drinking lean, you sipping lean, you pilled up, fam, you calling people druggy. Copy. You got weird hairstyles and shit. You getting your stomach done. It's just like, I'm not really sure what's getting ready to happen here, fam. Mos Def has all of the ammo he needs to end this nigga's career, fam. And realistically, fam, Drake might need to slow down, fam. You over there calling names. I'm hearing reports about an album coming and possibly a Mos Def diss track coming. You might not want to go that route, fam. We gonna get some music this year that we probably wasn't expecting, right? And if y'all seen Bay, can you imagine a Drake versus Mos Def? I mean, listen, we getting. It seems like this is gonna be the year of rapper feuds, right? We already got Nicki and Meg. You know what I'm saying? We got Eminem and Benzino coming back outside. This, you know what I'm saying? Basically try to settle their differences and shit 30 years later. I mean, I don't know, man. This might actually be. I feel like Kendrick gonna jump in there though. He might tag himself in. You know, in WWE, we were speaking about wrestling earlier and shit. But if you remember certain tag matches and shit, like sometimes the partner wouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? They'd be impatient and shit and they tag themselves in. I feel like this would be the perfect opportunity for Kendrick to kind of, you know what I'm saying? This might be all the ammo he needs, fam, to finally release the real version of Control that I'm pretty sure he probably got 10 versions of Control, fam, in the tuck. That other one was just a little, you know what I'm saying? Just a little water to the face to wake the game up and shit. So yeah, man, I wouldn't be surprised, and it wouldn't be, you know, that would speak to Drake's character. He would have a diss for Yasin Bey. Like, that's something that I wouldn't be surprised. I do know that Pusha T is in the studio right now though too. So realistically, you know, if you do got some bullets over there, Drizzy, you might want to save those. Cause look, this might be a hot summer, not a hot girl summer. Because Nicki and Meg is beefing. So we probably not going to get another one of those right there. But it's going to be a hot summer if a couple of these guys decide to come outside, man, and rap. That's a whole fact. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I'm always, you know what I'm saying, casting my vote for Kendrick, J. Cole. You know, I'm patiently waiting for the fall off. Which, I mean, at this point, I'm like, I just seen a clip of Drake and J. Cole performing goddamn on tour. They performing... Like, I don't know, man. First person shooter, you still, like, I mean, I feel like that was a moment for the album and everything, but it's just like, fam, you on tour with Drake? J. Cole is on tour right now, fam. Are we going to get the fall off or not, fam? I don't know. He might have been talking about next fall. We might get it next fall or some shit. I don't know, fam. But if you on tour, I'm just saying, fam. My son Kendrick got a haircut. You know what I'm saying? This nigga Kendrick got a shape up. I don't know, man. When Kendrick got a haircut and a shape up, I'm not really sure. I mean, historically, we got To Pimp a Butterfly the last time he had that hairstyle. We got Jay-Z, you know. There was definitely a recent report, a preview or a snippet of some Jay-Z project, right? It was basically like, you know, on set, you know, Jay-Z, you know, kind of, you know what I'm saying, something basically in the works kind of thing, right? No official announcement, but like I said, and like I've been speculating, the Book of Hove album, it wouldn't be surprising to me if we get that this year. I do feel like that would be a great way to kind of, you know, basically close the chapter, right? End the chapter, end the book, right? You get that Book of Hove and, you know, That would be interesting. That would definitely be interesting. You know, the Book of Hove, obviously, you know what I'm saying? They did what they did at the library. And I definitely went there a few times. And, you know, just based off of what I seen there, I feel like if you turn that into an album, you know, yeah, that'll be amazing. So we looking forward to that as well. We keeping our eye on everybody. We got our eye on everybody and everything, fam. Notifications is on. Blueface and Chrisean, and this is the thing, right? Because obviously I just feel like you have certain individuals who are basically just, you know, kind of, I don't know, just like kind of like the internet's toy to just play with, basically, right? And at this point, we kind of just have to stop giving mental illness a platform, fam, to kind of just flourish and do what it wants. Like, we have to, at some point, we have to start kind of, reprimanding certain things, man. Christian Rock and Blueface, I just feel like at this point, fam, like what are we doing here? What are we doing here? They got reality TV shows. Blueface is currently locked up right now, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe it was because of an incident that he got into with this young lady here, if I'm not mistaken, right? I could be wrong. Was this some type of domestic situation here? Nonetheless, Blueface is in jail. Christian Rock is out here. And at this point, like, I'm not really sure what the goal is. Like, are they just trying to be the most trending, couple in the world? Are they trying to outdo Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, fam? Are they trying to replace them as America's sweetheart? Because I'm not going to hold you. Y'all off to a bad start, fam. I don't think the face tat is going to... Y'all gonna get some fans, but it's not gonna be the fans at the NFL games. I know that much. Blueface in jail, Christian Rock out here looking like she on the verge of going to jail at this point. I don't know. That face tat is crazy though, and we do have to, we have to start medicating these artists, fam. And realistically, Christian Rock, does she do music? I don't think I heard one ballad, one bar from Shorty, but nonetheless, she's apparently trending on the internet every other goddamn day. So she doing something right, I guess. Cause nowadays that's the only thing. That's kind of like, it seems to be everybody's goal these days, right? You know what I'm saying? Everybody just trying to trend on. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man. Computer Love last episode. We kind of got into that. We definitely got Kanye West. Let me hold on. Let me be respectful. The man changed his name legally to Ye. So Ye, recently spotted on Hollywood, Boulevard, getting ready to attend a Charlie Wilson Star of Walk of Fame ceremony, right? So, basically Ye out and about, I'm not really sure. We're still kind of waiting for, the release of this Vultures album that I feel like they've been promoting since last year, but it's been quiet. We 2 months into 2024, fam. It ain't been a snippet. It ain't been a, I'm just not really sure what we doing. They definitely did release a track list, though. They did release a track list. And I'm not really sure. Apparently, there's going to be different versions of the album. I say all that to say this. Ye is outside again, and apparently this TMZ reporter, or allegedly this TMZ reporter, because realistically, fam, it's not like this lady had on a TMZ shirt, fam. She didn't have ID. She ain't really, realistically, fam, this could have really just been anybody with a camera for real, right? So she rolled up on Ye, and she kind of, she asked him a question and insinuated at the same time that he basically was, obviously, I wasn't even aware of the fact that he married, this lady that obviously, I don't even know her name, fam. I know her name is Bianca. I don't know her full name is what I'm saying. Is it Bianca West? He changed his name to Ye, so what would that make her? Bianca Ye? Ye Bianca? Whatever the case may be. Bianca, Ye's wife, right? Because this is his wife. We want to be respectful, right? Because clearly he not playing about his wife. Lady came up to him with the camera. She asked him basically like, does your wife have rights? Or, kind of insinuated that, she damn near called her a slave, right? Which is something that Ye kind of said on TMZ not too long ago, right? Fast forward, man, he grabs the camera. He grabs the phone from the lady, fam. You know what I'm saying? And, the clip went viral. Obviously, the first thing that people kind of started to speculate is, mental health. And, people are not really sure if Kanye is, basically in his right frame of mind. Personally, I feel like I've seen other people do this in the past. We've seen an incident with Bad Bunny not too long ago where he snatched somebody's phone and threw it in the goddamn river, fam. And I didn't really hear too many people questioning his mental health, right? So, I feel like if you're willing to approach somebody with a phone, right? I feel like you have to kind of just be willing to take whatever comes with that, right? I mean, at the end of the day, people do have the rights to their personal space. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the fact if I'm a celebrity or not. If I feel like you're imposing on my personal space, I have the right to react however I feel in the moment, right? And that's how he felt in the moment. He also definitely had a lot to say in the moment as well. And, you know, I feel like, you know, I just feel like at this point, man, just give me the music, man. I'm just at this point, I just need the music, fam. I don't really want to hear you ranting on the street, trying to drop knowledge to the TMZ cameras. We kind of know what time it is already, right? We see what's going on, fam, and we clearly see what they did to you, right? You don't have to really rant anymore, is what I'm saying. It's kind of like we kind of see it now, yeah? So let's just get this goddamn Vultures album out and let's just get to it, fam. Enough with the ranting and enough with the goddamn... I felt like he did have the right to grab the phone, though. Realistically, like, what would I do in that situation, fam? Realistically, I've done more for less, right? Like, I will violate you for way less than that. Like, if I really think about it, fam. And there's a couple people I got on my list, on my violate list when I see you, when I catch you, when the cameras is not on. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be clear, right? And realistically, yeah. The camera, and once again, we were speaking about this, you know, computer love and basically just like, you know what I'm saying, the pros and cons when it comes to this technology. Everybody don't want a camera in their goddamn face, fam. That's a whole fact. So there's really no telling how you going to get a reaction out of somebody when you pull up on them with a camera in their face. So yeah. I feel like, you know, he reacted how he reacted. It is what it is. I do need that album, though, at this point. You feel me? And we do need to just get Ye inside of it. We need to do we need to just padlock this man inside of the studio at this point, fam? Like, let's just get him in there and just padlock the doors and just throw soul samples in there and just keep him in there. Just keep him creative right now, fam. We don't really need to see you. Not for nothing. And I'm not saying that the reporter should have, you know, approached him and, you know, maybe her approach was just off, right? Maybe she could have got that question off in a different way. But maybe your approach just wasn't really, you know what I'm saying, the right approach, right? I'm not gonna hold you though. Some of those pictures are kind of wild though, man. I do see, I'm not really sure, like, necessarily, like, what the brand is, like, the rebrand. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not really sure. You don't know what you're gonna get with Ye though, realistically, fam. And that's the whole thing. And that's kind of the reason why we appreciate him, realistically. You're gonna get something different every time. We already spoke about NBA news, but I definitely did forget to mention something that I seen in regards to former NBA player Tony Snell, who recently, you know, made a pledge to basically be re-signed to an NBA team so that he can be eligible for the benefits, you know, program that apparently, you know, after your 10th season in the NBA, you know, apparently you become eligible for this program that basically gives you and your family these health benefits. And right now, Tony Snell has, I believe, 2 autistic sons that he's basically trying to care for. And it's basically a situation where he really did need, you know, he kind of needed that, you know, that situation to kind of pan out. Unfortunately, though, what it's looking like and what I'm seeing here on Fox News is that he missed the deadline for the 10th year, right? So for his 10th year of service, he will be ineligible for benefits to care for autistic sons. It says Tony Snell's pursuit of signing with an NBA team this season has recently become one of the most widely discussed basketball stories, right? And I'm really just only bringing this up because I'm just trying to scratch my head to figure out basically, like, I thought the NBA cared. Like, I thought the NBA cared. I ain't see an NBA cares ad in a minute, fam, quite frankly. Like, does the NBA care or not? Because this man, you know, obviously made it clear that, you know, he was trying to do this. You know, he has 2 sons, and I just felt like it was something that the NBA would have just... that this is a perfect PR story right here, fam. I thought they was going to jump all over this. And I thought that this man would be signed to a team within a matter of a week or less, basically. I thought it was going, you know, I even seen the story basically made it to TNT, and I seen Charles Barkley, like one of the most significant things I actually seen him say on the program. Like, even he kind of basically said that, he should definitely be on the team. And I mean, I'm not really sure exactly what this means as far as like, is there a possibility that they can probably like bypass this maybe? Like, is there a chance that somebody just was asleep at the desk? Like, did nobody hear the story, fam? Why wouldn't they re-sign him? Like, 32 years old, he's a guard. He's currently playing for the Boston Celtics NBA G League. Shit, I feel like the Celtics could have just brought him up. No? They could use some, I mean, they pretty much have everything they need right now, realistically, right? But I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not really sure, man. I'm not really sure what this means. Hopefully, I don't know if this is going to be one of them situations where like donations end up, kind of, I wouldn't be surprised, if he starts some type of GoFundMe, right? If he's not going to be able to get the benefits through the league, right? Which is kind of what he was hoping for. That is interesting to me, though. We in other sports news, in other obscure sports news, because quite frankly, I'm not 100% sure if anybody was made aware of this. I wasn't even aware of this until I seen it on Tuesday. And basically what I'm alluding to is the fact that Jermell Charlo is being stripped of the middleweight championship. So basically, yeah, this is going to pave the way for the March 30th clash between Sebastian, the Towering Inferno, Fundora, and whoever the hell this is right here. I'm not pronouncing that, fam. That's crazy. Serhai Bohatish for the full title. So, in other words, Jermell Charlo, his career might be over at this point, fam. They're stripping him of the goddamn middleweight championship, fam. And I'm going to only assume that, this is because of, there was some type of dispute, some type of domestic dispute. I don't know if this was a domestic dispute or if this was just an incident that he had with a young lady on the street. But I did see or hear they kind of released some audio basically of him kind of, he basically was bragging about, basically putting his hands on a female, fam, which obviously in this day and age is a big no-no in any day and age, for real. But especially today, right? You put your hands on a female, that's a ready to death blow right there. For the audio of you actually, like, and I heard this shit, like, he literally was sitting there basically giving a full play-by-play, basically like how they do for one of his fights. Like, he was giving a play-by-play of exactly how he physically, manhandled this female. And I'm not really sure exactly what the full context of the story is. Obviously, I don't want to speculate, but fam, it didn't sound like, I'm not really sure how that's going to work in your favor, regardless of how it played out, right? I don't care if this lady had a goddamn knife to your throat. The way you sitting there talking about it, it's just kind of like, fam, it didn't sound good, and apparently it's not gonna play out good because they definitely just strip your man of the middleweight championship. Ben Simmons is definitely I don't know what to say, man. Ben Simmons returned like last week or something, right? Actually put up some decent numbers from what I seen. I think he had like a triple-double or some shit crazy. Like he had 10, 11, and 10 or something crazy, right? So he returned after, obviously, he's been in and out the lineup for quite some time now. A lot of people basically, speculate that he might be one of the main reasons why the big three in Brooklyn didn't work out. As far as KD, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving. A lot of people felt like, his, kind of, like his aura over there kind of like, kind of didn't really allow them to, obviously he was a part of he wasn't a part of the big three, but they definitely could have used him. And if you looking over at the bench and you seeing, you out there giving your blood sweat, and he over there sitting with a Bottega sweatsuit on or something, like, it's just like you got on different outfits, you sitting on the sideline, fam. Clearly, it was hard for them to really just build a championship team around that over there, right? I say all that to say this, man. We finally get this guy back on the court. He actually performs and puts up some decent numbers, only to return back on the injury list because Ben Simmons reportedly is out for the Brooklyn Nets after suffering a knee contusion the previous night. So they were set to play the Phoenix Suns. Now I'm not sure if this is going to be he missed 2 months. He returned Monday night. So this is a contusion. I'm not really sure if this is I don't know how significant this contusion is, right? It doesn't sound like it's that crazy. I feel like he might be back in a couple games, but it's just fam, to have a player just be that injury prone, I mean, that has to be a headache for the front office, right? And at this point, I won't be surprised if Ben Simmons ends up on that trading block again. I definitely didn't want to start the episode with this, but I definitely didn't want to end the episode without acknowledging the 3 U.S. soldiers from Georgia who were killed in Jordan in what is being described as an airstrike. So we definitely want to acknowledge and salute Sergeant William Rivers, Specialist Brianna Moffett, pardon the mispronunciation, and Specialist Kennedy Sanders, who unfortunately were all killed in a drone attack last Sunday. Yeah, obviously, that's just kind of what, unfortunately, you sign up for when you join the military, right? And, we just want to acknowledge and salute them. Obviously, I have my thoughts and my opinions on just the whole military and, these drones and this technology. Like I said, man, computer love, man. We just spoke about this on the last episode, man, and how this thing could be a gift and a curse. The drone strike shit to me, though, is kind of confusing just for the simple fact that I'm not really sure exactly, so how does that work exactly? A drone strike kills 3 people. I don't know, man. There's clearly a lot that I have to read up on when it comes to the military and military arsenal. But it's I don't really know, man. I do feel like there's certain things that are being created, and it's just fam, what is the real purpose of this, and why did y'all really? But just salute to those 3 soldiers, though, who unfortunately tragically lost their life and, basically sacrificed themselves to basically fight for others, right? We have to acknowledge and salute them. Alec Baldwin definitely just pleaded not guilty to involuntary manslaughter in the fatal shooting of the cinematographer. This was obviously something that took place not too long ago. What was that, 2 years ago? And this happened on the set of a movie filming. And, obviously, there was a lot of speculation about this situation because a lot of people, we kind of had a lot of questions about basically how this even took place. This was supposed to be basically a prop gun on set. And, a prop gun is not supposed to, deliver a fatal shot, right? So we weren't really sure how a real gun ended up on the set. And there was a lot of questions. Apparently, now they're actually, getting ready to go to trial. Because Alec Baldwin, he definitely pled not guilty to involuntary manslaughter, and basically we're going to have to just see how this plays out. I'm sure this is going to be another one of those long, drawn out, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be one of those trials. I feel like we see a lot of that going on now. And I was just speaking about the fact that they have a lot of different platforms, I feel like, set up now for you to kind of go inside the courtroom. More than ever, I feel like they want to take you inside the courtroom and really show you the ins and outs of everything that's going on, fam. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be cameras all in this courtroom. And this is going to be, unfortunately for, the young lady, Helena Hutchins, unfortunately, this is going to be something that her family's probably going to have to now relive and kind of have to go through that again, So yeah, we just got to see how this plays out. I did have a lot of questions about this, though. And I guess we're going to get to the bottom of it now. you know, Steven Adams. Yeah, I had a lot of NBA shit low key that I didn't get to. So Steven Adams of the Memphis Grizzlies, they definitely are getting ready to trade him over to the Houston Rockets for Victor Oladipo and 3 second-round picks. So, out with the old and with the new, fam. Steven Adams obviously is another player, who I feel like he's been out of the lineup for quite some time now. I feel like it's been like a good solid 2 seasons, fam, since we seen Steven Adams in the post. You feel me? Steven Adams is one of those players who it's kind of hard to keep him in your lineup. So with that being said, this is not a trade that comes as a surprise. I do feel like the Memphis Grizzlies obviously, are looking to kind of change some things up and, add things to their lineup. Obviously they lost John Morant to injury, and I do feel like next season, like I said before though, with all that being said, the Memphis Grizzlies will be a much better team when they could kind of come back and restart the season fresh, with John Morant freshly off of his injury, and I'm pretty sure they're going to make some more moves in the offseason as well, right? Marcus Smart, I think that was a great pickup. And I feel like they got some potential over there to become and Jaren Jackson is my only, the only question mark that I really have over there right now. And now they got rid of Steven Adams, so they really don't have a big now, right? So I feel like that's what they're lacking the most, in my opinion. I feel like they are in need of a true center over there. And if somehow Karl Anthony Towns ends up over there, I feel like now we talking, fam. Because Karl Anthony Towns, clearly, he's capable of, we see what he's doing over there in Minnesota, right? And I just feel like you got a player like that capable of doing those type of numbers, fam. You got to get him on a team where they can contend. And I don't feel like Minnesota is that team right now. Yeah, they got Anthony Edwards. You know what? Let me slow down. I forgot about Anthony Edwards. I did. For a split second, I forgot about Anthony Edwards over there. They could contend with Anthony Edwards over there. So you know what? Maybe I'm wrong about that one. But I do feel like they need a center, though. For sure. 100%. There's no question about it, fam. Jaren Jackson is not going to cut it, fam. I would trade him personally. The NYPD robot that has captured the attention, like I wasn't even aware of this. Apparently, they had whole NYPD robots patrolling the goddamn train station at 42nd Street, fam. I take the train every single day. I have never seen one of these personally. They said it was at 42nd Street. All right, cool. I definitely, suggested the fact that we probably do need AI technology in the train. I did say this. I did. I said, I feel like there are certain areas where clearly humans are not good enough to do the job, right? I didn't know they was going to put a whole goddamn NYPD robot in the damn train station, fam, to shoot and kill people. I don't know what this shit is right here, fam. I'm looking at a picture of this shit. This shit looks crazy, fam. This shit look like the mother on the Jetsons, fam. That literally used to just fucking like, fam, they got a goddamn police Jetsons robot. Well, apparently this was only a trial, right? So yeah, they kind of wanted to just do a test run, and that test run has ended. All I'm saying is this, fam. All I'm saying is this. If I have to coexist and get on the train, I'm about to never get on the train again, for real. And realistically, when it get warm, I have no business on the train anywhere because I ride a bike. You know what I'm saying? Like I can get to all 5 boroughs on the Silver Surfer. I'm sure of it. I've done it many times, fam. I ain't never go to Staten Island, but I can hit the other 4 boroughs, no problem. You understand what I'm saying? So realistically, fam, if they want to get crazy, if they want to put the iRobots on the train, fam, I could just not ride the train again is what I'm saying. Like I'll be okay if I never have to get on the train again. This does look crazy though. And if these shits start patrolling the street, we gonna be in trouble, fam. Cause you already know they gonna have these shits programmed and you know what I'm saying, a certain way. Right? And I don't think I need to elaborate any more on that. And I think that this episode is a wrap. Yeah, I had to hold this bitch though. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't want to jump out the gate. You know what I'm saying? Realistically, January 28th, like I said, man, you know, it's only up from here. It's only up from here. You know, we got the Mamba Tape getting ready to drop, you know, February 8th. That's in 4 days from now. I'm very, very excited, very, very pleased with that project. Please be on the lookout for that. Yeah, nah. It's just an amazing feeling though, man. Let me just elaborate on what I'm really saying. I'm really like seeing so much uninspired. This shit is like the Thriller video out here, realistically, fam. All these goddamn zombies I'm seeing. You understand what I'm saying? So realistically, regardless if I'm charting or not, you know, just waking up every day and being me, that's my Grammy. Willmatic TV, episode 54. Everybody can't go, but everybody is welcome. You already know what it is. Until the next time, Willmatic. 1. And that's how you record a motherfucking 2 hour plus. 2 hours plus, fam. Yeah. And I will be editing. You know what I'm saying? Episode should be out on Monday. Stay tuned. Like I said, the Mamba Tape. February 8th. You know what I'm saying? Feeling good, feeling great. All right, I'm over it.
Where is Terry?